Hey YouTube, thanks for joining me on this COVID-19 bar build. This is the blueprints that I had picked up. Thought they would work out for the space that I had available. Some of the alcoholic beverages sitting around the house that needed a place to live, and I needed something to do to stay busy while I'm working from home, weekends, etc., while we're going through this wonderful time of COVID-19. I began the build in March of 2020 during the beginning of the COVID-19 crisis. As you can see by the pictures, I had a little extra gravity to me. This build definitely helped. See, I'm already huffing and puffing while just nailing a few boards together. Over the next week or so, the bars started taking shape. Corners looked a little sharper, and I was able to get the bases in. This is a quick look around of where I was at that point, starting to prep the electric. This is my buddy Kyle that came over to keep me sane as I was doing the electric, and he took one side, I took the other, and we just got it done. Here I installed 3/4 inch ply across the entire front of the bar. There's also 3/4 ply on the top that'll hold most of the weight that I'll be putting on it. That piece of red oak on the top of the bar is the prelude to the drip tray that I'll create later on in the build. This is where I got a little nuts with creativity and decided that I was going to do a multicolor look. I think it came out pretty good. This is where I began facing with a better plywood on the front and completing out some of the electrical, and began working on the bar rail. Picked up some bar stools and a hammered copper sink, which I actually like the way this came out with the copper faucet also. Matched it in with the copper and the paint and started staining. And as you can tell, I am neither a carpenter nor a painter, as it took me about 8 coats to get that stain where I wanted it. This is the prelude to beginning the glazing process. That's the 2-part glaze, and I went through multiple buckets and over 3 gallons of glaze by the time I was done. So here I thought I'd show you some of the glazing process and mixing the 2-part glaze, and spare you the 6-minute wait time there before you're ready to pour. So it's stir, 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 stir for 6 minutes, and then you can finally pour it and lay it out the best I could. And see there, I'm starting to add just with a brush some base paint colors, and then I began spraying paint onto the paint stick and laying that out. And that's showing the paint stick going in and through, and laying more glaze, and just kept going back and forth, and every once in a while throwing a flamethrower on it to get rid of all the bubbles. Let you watch some of this. At this point I had laid about a half a gallon of glaze on the top, and I decided, you know, wouldn't it be neat throwing in my Harley Pogs that I've collected over the years, all the places I went throughout the world, and with the Navy and Air Force, and maybe some of my military coins, and I think that came out pretty cool. My daughter Madison came to visit and keep me company for a little while and help me with a little of the staining work, and taking a few pictures for me. Again, stained more of the front, got the bar rails on, and the drip tray, which is all oak, and there's that rope going around. The white color on the inside is something I use to keep the glaze from falling over the edge. And it was time to start looking at that center pole. It was driving me a little crazy, so after some serious thought, I decided to close it in there. Then it was time to add lighting to both the front and the rear side of the bar, and start plumbing. And again, my buddy Kyle came back to assist me with this and getting the water lines run. And the only downside was once we got the lift pump installed, we had put it backwards and neglected to have some of that video, but we ended up with the water coming up through the drain pipe, which was an interesting time. So as we started to have a few people over to begin to enjoy the bar with us, I ended up making modifications to the look and the feel, and maybe after a couple of drinks, decided to continue working. And apparently I just wasn't ever happy. So the wife started calling it the bar that never ended. And there's just some of the add-ons, created a nice rack for the glasses, and there's a view of the lighting on both sides with the LEDs going. And then a friend said, "Oh, you need a brick wall in the back," so I started putting a brick wall in the back. It just couldn't stop. Got the brick wall to where I wanted it and started putting up work there, and then a friend gave me a flooring to put in, so started adding the flooring. And then I ran out of room in the alcohol cabinet, so I picked up another cabinet and started throwing some of the booze in there, and we named it Jahonas Factotum, or Jahonas Factotum, which is Jack of all trades, master of none. Started again having more friends over, and just to enjoy the bar and get out of the house and have some place to go. So ended up being quite the time. My friend Tony is a firefighter, and he gave me a brick from the Worcester cold storage fire, and I made a little shelving unit for it, and hung it up where he wanted it to be on the bar. I'll let you watch some of the final modifications that I did to the bar, and the understairs and behind the stairs, and just some of the little doodads that I've added just to complete the look, I guess. And I just wanted to say thank you for anybody stopping by to watch this, and hopefully you like, subscribe, and pass this video on to your friends. If they're thinking about building something, just do it. It was a great time, and thanks for being part of it with me. Cheers.